If I was the devil, my first victim will be the kids. From the moment
He actually doesn't care if you go to church. What he cares is if you have an intimate relationship of Jesus. What the devil does is he comes as your friend. He's like, hey, no, it's okay. This is okay to do this because it's going to make you feel good. It's going to make you progress better with life. So in this video, we are going to watch a reaction regarding If I Were the Devil. So this actor, he's actually representing as Paul Harvey, which he was known to be as an American broadcaster and on the radio. And so regarding Paul Harvey, he actually spoke a prophetic word that's happening right now over 45 years ago. And he talked about like, what would the devil do to our generation to get us distracted, get us deceived, get away to turn away from serving God. So we're going to see what this guy has to say. And I'm going to share my opinion on what I'm saying and what I feel about it. Okay, so here it is. It's not a good start with him with the cigar in his mouth, but we're going to see how this turns out, what he has to say, how I feel about it. So let's go and get this started.
If I was the devil, my first victim will be the kids. From the moment they left their mother's precious wombs and were born, I would condition them to see racial division as a norm. And I wouldn't stop till I've stripped their innocence, divide and conquer. It's the oldest trick in the book of Genesis. And see, as they...
Woo, okay, his eyes. That is not looking good with that, but it's funny, you know, and I agree. Usually the devil always goes after the younger generation because if more people cannot learn like the purpose of serving God, the purpose of living for Jesus and to live in an immoral lifestyle, then it's just going to continue to pass on to the next generation. So yes, I do agree the devil will go after kids, unfortunately. So that's why it's such a big important for as a parent to make sure you protect your kids of what they watch, who they associate with, and then what they do with their day-to-day practice.
They grew up, I would continue my infiltration. For 12 years, I would steal their hearts and minds from them and call it education. If I was the devil, my next victim will be women. I'd make old, out-of-touch men control women's bodies and rights. What better way to curse God than to disrespect the very bringers of life? Speaking of God, if I was the devil when it comes to religion, I put my plan together perfectly. I'd allow you to worship Jesus every Sunday, and on the other 6 days, I'd make you worship me.
It's true. So that's the biggest thing, regarding being born again. So a lot of Christians can go to church, coming in, coming out the same, and not really having a personal relationship. So the devil actually doesn't care if you go to church. What he cares is if you have an intimate relationship of Jesus. So if you are just going to church, the devil does not mind at all. So, and I agree that it's like a lot of Christians actually don't understand what it's truly like to have a revelation, to have a relationship. And so, but when the moment you have a relationship, the moment you understand what the Holy Spirit wants to do for your life, that's when the devil trembles. So I totally agree with this point too.
Form of money, fame, lust, and greed. To my religion, I wouldn't need to convert you. I turn the 10 commandments to the 10 suggestions.
Yikes.
And make virtue signaling more important than virtue. I give you just enough religion to hate each other, but not enough to love each other. And for my final evil strategy, I'd make you forget the whole purpose of religion was spirituality. If I was the devil, I wouldn't come dressed in a red cape and pointy horns. I'd drive a Lambo, have a pretty face and a Gucci belt on. Basically, I'd take the form of everything you ever wished for and watch you create your own hell. I don't need to torch the earth.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Devil is not going to come to the world like, hey, look at me, I'm the devil. I'm going to try to destroy your life. No, he actually wants to come as an angel of light. He wants to be your friend. And so if people knew that the devil was actually trying to destroy their life, they're not going to want to listen or participate in it. But because if people were to be acknowledging that, then, they'll think a different perspective on how they're going to interact with life. But instead, what the devil does is he comes as your friend. It's like, hey, no, it's okay. This is okay to do this because it's going to make you feel good. It's going to make you progress better with life, or it's going to make you feel, the top of the world. When in reality, it's just going to destroy everything if you're going to be living in sin. So yeah, I totally 100% agree on that. The devil will never try to reveal himself. He's not going to come to the world and be like, hey, look at me. Absolutely not. So so far, everything he's saying is on point.
And as far as politicians go, I'd change nothing. They're already doing my dirty work. If I was the devil low-key, I'd be behind the scenes. You wouldn't have to see me. I would normalize dysfunction and call it reality TV. And in this reality, I would attack your self-worth, making it hard to heal from. I'd show you images of fake bodies and make them more attractive than real ones. If I was the devil, I'd make you pray to technology and idolize those who create it. I'd make clout the #1 drug and steal millions of lost souls as they chased it. Now, if I was the devil,
Yeah, so we are living in a generation where we are using everything on technology with our phone, for example. And so the biggest thing that God does talk about in the Old Testament is do not worship any idol. And so it does not mean back then in the Old Testament, he actually meant any idols to this day. And one of them is our cell phone. So if we were saying, oh, we don't have any idols in our life, God's going to be like, well, how long have you been spending time on your phone versus praying versus fasting versus going to church and learning and growing yourself? And so we got to reflect ourselves, like how much we spend our time on social media and how much we utilize it and what we are implementing with it too, because the devil is trying to do, he's trying to compare people's life, their highlights versus their reality. And so the devil wants you to feel, he wants you to compare, he wants you to not feel, he doesn't want you to feel good. He wants you to feel worthless compared to other people. And so right now, everything's on point so far.
I wouldn't do it all at once. I'd take my time instead. I'd eat away at your morals little by little. Exactly how cancer spreads. Speaking of cancer, if I was the devil, I'd feed you tasty food that makes you ill. Then I'd turn your doctors into drug dealers, selling you pills that keep you coming back instead of truly heal. Yeah, if I was Lucifer, then I'd know life and death are in the tongue. So I'd make your knife and fork your executioner. See, you can't achieve higher consciousness if your body is sick. You won't opt for positive information if you have inflammation. If I was Satan, my cleverness would be admired. Why do you think the word inflammation literally means to set on fire? If I was the devil, I'd show you how to really flex. I would release pandemics on the world to give people the chance to really care for each other and then sit back and laugh as they exploited and became scared of each other. Basically, if I was the devil, I'd...
Okay, just a little bit about that. And so I won't go into too much details because I don't know the big policy, how much I can talk about it, but what happened during that time, that's just a small highlight of what's going to happen in the future, because you know the Bible talks about the end times of what is going to happen. And so you know things are going to be more chaotic, more divided, more of an outbreak. And so just keep in mind, like when this happens, just keep informed that Jesus will be coming back, but you must be prepared that things will be turning chaos. And so that right there was a small highlight, but that is just the beginning for what is about to come. So keep that in mind.
Keep doing what I'm doing. God is my witness. I already control your systems. Don't try to fight against this. Because for my last trick, I would make smart people like you doubt whether I ever existed.
Wow. So that's the end of the video. There's a lot, you know, that he revealed himself that I 100% agree. You know, at the end of the day, the devil wants to kill, steal, and to destroy, but Jesus came so he could bring life abundantly. And so keep in mind, so, you know, when you have a relationship with Jesus, when you understand the blood, what he's done on the cross and the intimacy that you have with him, the devil trembles. He can absolutely not do anything to devour you when you truly know yourself and when you're identified with Christ. And so the devil, all he can do is try to deceive you, to try to think that he has power, but really Jesus stripped him off on the cross and took back dominion for all of us to have. And so keep in mind, the devil cannot do anything as long you know the rights you have of Christ. And so this video, 100% agree. You know, there's things that he does. Unfortunately, many people get deceived, but the good news is Jesus defeated him on the cross. And when he comes back, he's going to throw him in the lake of fire. Judgment Day will happen for him. On top of all the dominions, all the principalities, all of them are defeated. It's a matter of time when judgment will come for them. And so, yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys thought about the video. You know, make sure to like this up, subscribe and follow for more. And then more until then, more to come.